relatively straightforward. Trying to start to institute a House District phone bank. Doing that on Mondays, where basically the concept is to do it the Monday pretty much following this meeting, as in the one prior to the Wednesday meetings that we've been doing, which puts the dates at August 9th.
How are you going to do it the first Monday? I guess.
I thought I had on the thing that it was the 19th, the 23rd, the 21st.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, am I wrong?
Yes. That's right, while it was active, okay. Wow, okay.
Okay, yeah, so the dates, yes, there we are. So that's what I'm looking at going off of on my phone. So basically doing a monthly Monday evening at the Denver Party headquarters office, which is, I'm sure most of you know, is on South Broadway. It's right by that like Caboodle train parts store or something.
Across from Wendy's.
Okay, across from Wendy's. Well, there's lots of Wendy's's, but very few, train hobbyists.
It's in the 500 South block of South Broadway.
The train store is
For some, the caboose just sticks out to me. But, so yeah, it's basically down there. We have some time in the evening where we're talking like 6 to 8 or something. I think we were saying. So basically there's, with this concept, the possibility of doing phone banking for multiple different things, as we were talking about between the trying to get more precinct committee people. I mean, certainly if somebody's more comfortable making phone calls in a group than by themselves, can do phone calls for that. As the recall elections have come up, can do some calling for those sorts of things. And so I think that putting together a date that's just our standard, this is the day that if you're phone calling for whatever it is that we're doing, that this is going to be the phone call date, so we can put it on the calendar, have it as an ongoing thing, makes it a little bit easier than trying to schedule one phone bank here, one phone bank there. Not that we won't probably wind up doing that for, kind of one-off situations every so often. But this way, just kind of setting a schedule for that sort of thing. And then, of course, as the persuasion time period comes during the elections for the marijuana taxation, for the school finance bill, you can also use the phone bank for those sorts of things. And then, of course, as many people as can bring a cell phone as possible is a positive thing, because there's limited phone lines there, but I think there's a couple of phone lines for those folks who don't have cell phones, or if, say, for example, like me, you have a Washington, D.C. number, and you call people and they're like, what are you doing calling me from out of state? And I'm not, but that's, anyway. So sometimes that can be a little bit easier. So, I don't think if there was anything else going along with that I was specifically supposed to point out, or if there's any questions, or... Yes?
Yeah, I like the idea, except Monday Night Football. Because some people on Monday Night Football, they're going to cost everything.
Well, I guess the thing is there's college football on Saturday, there's the regular games on Sunday, there's the Monday Night Football games, and there's the Thursday Night Football games.
Tuesday.
Well, I will say in several years of phone banking experience and volunteer recruitment experience, despite the periodic observance, if you will, of Monday Night Football games, you do get the best response on Monday nights. You get more volunteers on Monday nights than pretty much any other night of the week. You get more responses. It's a night that people are just for some reason more apt to be home. I mean, a lot of people do canvassing and calling on, say, like, a Saturday or Sunday, but the response rate winds up being, like, about 15% even for canvassing. When you're doing that sort of thing on Monday, it's significantly higher. And so that was part of the thought process.
But you could maybe consider changing the time just a little bit earlier, because you do kick people off if you interrupt the game. We
won't ever do it if it's a Broncos.
We would, definitely not during Broncos game.
See, frankly, I love calling people during Broncos games.
It might not be a problem with the people answering, but with some of the people calling.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big problem with answering.
That's both ways.
The problem is answering.
Frankly, I've had some of the easiest canvassing I've ever done in my life during Broncos games. You put on the right colored hat, and at every door you're starting off saying, "Hi, I'm so sorry, this is the only time I can do this. How's the game going?" You ask the score before you ask the voter ID at every single house. You can wind up still watching half the game as you walk around town. So I think it's not just, just
blanketly saying...
Yeah. So I think it's, not necessarily not doing it during games, but making sure that the script is adjusted a little bit to take into account the fact that maybe you're watching and go, oh, right, yeah, hey, I got the game on in the living room as I'm making calls too, I'll be quick. But in my experience, I very rarely had a genuinely negative response other than, you know the game's on? Yeah, I'll be quick. Hey, you voting for so-and-so? Awesome. Go Broncos. Click.
Yeah.
I mean, what's up?
And they appreciate that you're being terse.
Yeah. And frankly, I mean, it's like, you know, normally you call a person and you're like, hi, who are you voting for? And they're like, what? You're like, Broncos are on, who are you voting for? They're like, oh, sweet. So,
On your calendar up here, what you're talking about is the monthly meetings, the 29th, the September 23rd, and October 21st. What are the dates below that?
That's the Wednesday. We're gonna have phone banking the hour before our Wednesday meeting.
that's the bit that I wasn't
I
remembering.
don't understand.
Yeah, we've been doing Wednesday meetings from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock at 12:55 Ogden. That's kind of an auxiliary meeting to this, that we've had some really good discussion about some of the topics that have come up. And in fact, even like, you know, bringing up, say, you know, racism or things like that, you know, those are some of the kind of things we've discussed. School finance, we've discussed the marijuana initiatives, both the tax side and the just voting for it initially side. You know, we've talked a little bit about some of the recalls coming up. And so yeah, we have that standing meeting time, we have a standing meeting place that we can use, and so we're just talking about trying to start that meeting a little bit earlier and giving people the opportunity to have that as a phone banking day as well. Since Wednesday has been sort of our auxiliary day, as it were, so that's our auxiliary meeting and our auxiliary phone call.
I hate to reopen this, but it took me a minute to look it up.
Oh.
The 23rd is Broncos Raiders Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Change that.
For people who don't watch football, or
I'm a Raiders fan.
I've
How
had-
you doing?
I've had phone banks where, like, listen, the amount of phone banks that I've done that have involved a projector projecting the Broncos game quietly on the wall while you're making phone calls, that was every night in 2012 that the Broncos were playing. So, I mean, if you really, really don't want to come during a football game, don't come during a
It's
football
not
game.
that.
But, you know, I mean,
It's
I
the
personally,
recipient.
I think people, they're sitting there, they got nothing to do for 3 damn hours, and they're bored. And, you know, as long as you make it fun, I think it's work.
yeah, I mean, don't try to talk to somebody for 25 minutes while the Broncos are on. I mean, no, but in terms of, you know, useful phone
We
bank
need to call
dynamics.
some nights anyway, so let's.
If I can get you to agree with me, I'll hang up real fast.
If you start taking off the schedule, anytime there's a CU game, anytime there's a CSU game, anytime that there's a Broncos game, anytime that there's any game, anytime that there's a Rockies game, then your calendar becomes very, very small.
So
very
you-
quickly.
Well, the only thing that anybody in Colorado has ever concerned about with politics is not doing it during Broncos games. But I mean, I think it's for some people it's a very valid concern. For some people it's a very valid concern. For some people it's not an issue. So you know,
Okay, well,
plan your schedule accordingly.
anything else?
What,
I think that's all I got.
Okay, Mary?
Oh, the only other thing I was going to say is on the school finance thing, if there's anybody here who hasn't signed a petition yet, that was circulating last meeting, I also have a petition on me. So if you wanted to do that, if you haven't done it yet, I have a petition with, and so there's that opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. The next item on the agenda is the social media concepts by Mary.
We're just trying to